Hello, welcome to Let's Eat restaurant. This is a mukbang and I made a Korean dish since mukbang comes from Korea originally, and it's called bokkeumbap, which is a fried rice Korean style. And here I bought French bakery since I live in France. So let's get started. My master's presentation will be about mukbang and digital loneliness in our modern society. I will conclude by explaining how mukbang is changing our perception on loneliness, and I will guide you in my VR project called Let's Eat. New technologies are basically within our sphere of private relationships. It's not only the fact that people are living alone, it's the fact that people feel lonely when they are with their close relations. People are spending time, they prefer to spend time with digital, let's say, partners in front of a screen instead of their real relationships, for example. A lot of our relationships become disrupted because of the new technologies, and because we interact more and more by text, it's becoming harder to have a face-to-face conversation, because it's more, there's the body language and there's your facial expression. That is why mukbang could be appealing, because viewers don't need to make the effort to interact. With a single click, it is now possible to choose our virtual meal partners. This raises two main issues. What are the techniques used by mukbang to enhance connection? And how are mukbang creators perceiving human connection on camera? We can compare the video, the audio-visual content to a simple image that we see on social media. It's not the same thing showing a photo of a meal on Instagram, for example, than it is actually eating that food in front of the camera.
If I film at 1 p.m. after a breakfast, I'm like hyper and happy. Right now I'm kind of waking up, so wake and bake with me.
Instead of instantaneous content, eating shows can last from 10 minutes to several hours. Moreover, we can see a display of authenticity because the creators don't need to show themselves in a flawless, filtered way. Their spontaneous acts reveal that they let their minds speak instead of having a script.
I'm sorry. I'm just happy. Ooh, I'm getting full, but I don't want to stop.
When you have a dinner, a real physical dinner with another person, there's often the need to respect table manners. But in mukbang, it's different, because the mukbanger is actually eating alone in front of the camera. Ooh. 10. Even though, because it's a self-presentation of yourself, and you know you are being watched on camera, the mukbangers will actually be also self-aware. We need to talk about intimacy, since we are immersed into the creator's private life. This is similar to Serge Tisserand's depiction of Love Story, the French TV reality show, where ordinary people are being filmed. The author stated that many people consider the show to be a creepy voyeurism. However, this didn't stop the viewers from watching the video. They were just more ashamed about it.
Today I'm going to show you how to make kimchi really fast. Let's say, for example, you want to eat kimchi tonight. You like your cream cheese?
It feels real, and that's why we feel more connected. But we don't know actually, because we are limited by the screen. The webcam phenomenon, for example, when you record yourself and the other people are watching you, they think that they see it all, and it feels like they understand it all. But is it really true? Because we are still limited by a screen, we don't know what happens in the room or after the video is finished. Besides, the only times when we get to know the mukbang creator is when they are having a meal. Unless the mukbanger talks about their personal life, the viewers don't really know the life of the mukbanger, because they are not their real friends. So So basically they will mainly talk about the food or the appearance. Okay, I'm starting with this one. In South Korean life mukbangs, the viewers will request that the mukbangers eat in a particular way.
라면에 참치 올려서 먹어주세요라고 이번에는 말지 않고 올려서 먹어볼게요. 참치를 살짝 얹어서.
This feels more like a client, like a service relationship instead of a traditional meal, like a friendship meal. The whole sense of proximity and connection. The technique is that the mukbangers acknowledge that they are being watched and they acknowledge the viewers, so they will reply to them. That's why the interaction is created, and that's why we could even argue that parasocial interaction is not there anymore, because we aren't fantasizing of interacting with someone. But it doesn't happen to everyone, so I think that there will be two groups of comments, those that will be noticed, and that's why also the mukbanger has the full control of which comment to choose, which question to answer. So mukbang creators enhance connection because of their perceived authenticity and intimacy. However, we should remember that it is a self-presentation since they choose to post it online. Therefore, it is also possible to display intense emotions for the sole reason to entertain or to attract more viewers. Now we will move on to the second question of my research. How do you think mukbangers are perceiving connection on camera?
For me too, I feel like I'm having dinner with you guys. On my blogging channel, I just said that I really want to talk to people today. I'm like craving conversation. So I am gonna eat my dinner with you guys. So
in fact, many mukbangers seem quite happy and enthusiastic when they are filming themselves. If this is their authentic expression, it could reveal that mukbang does make them feel more connected, even if they don't really know their viewers. They even ask them for questions and advice on camera, although in pre-recorded videos, they immediately answer their own personal issues. I made an interview with mukbang creator Yiriam Corrales to talk about her perception.
YouTube is a big platform, and you do have to kind of have a little bit of confidence, because people will say whatever they want in front of a screen, even though it's hurtful to say, and even though they would never say that to someone in person, they will say it to you behind a screen, and it really can mess with your confidence. I'm a pretty confident person, but I have dealt with some phases of like insecurity, and that was because of YouTube.
Talking is more scary than eating on camera.
I'm not just talking to one person, I'm talking to basically the whole world. So if I say something that I end up regretting, that is what really scares me, just saying stuff. But the actual like eating part, I'm pretty comfortable.
Because of the spontaneous conversation, we are left with ourselves in a way. So, because the mukbang creator is on the screen, viewers can expect more of them since they don't know them in real life. Therefore, empathy might be lacking, which reminds me of a quote by Sherry Turkle. Networked, we are together, but so lessened are our expectations of each other that we can feel utterly alone. And there is a risk that we come to see others as objects to be accessed, and only for the parts we find useful, comforting, or amusing. Besides, the mukbangers can't see their viewers' faces nor voices. They can only see the text, and sometimes they can even hear the synthetic voices, which doesn't really seem like human.
슈기님 진짜 세절예.
아직까진.
So there is no full context of what really happens in the conversation. Mukbang could be considered as a way to be connected, but without being actually connected with the other people in camera. Perceived social interaction is actually a conversation with oneself. And as Sherry Turkle stated, solitude is not necessarily something to be avoided. It basically helps to have more empathy. What mukbang can tell us about our perception on loneliness and intimacy is that it feels that people are craving conversation more than ever, but conversation face to face. This is very hard because face to face conversation, you have to show yourself. And when you're texting, it's more easy. But when you're doing so, like in front of someone, it can increase empathy, and that's something to be practiced. Now that the meal is finished, I would like to guide you into the Let's Eat restaurant, a virtual place where two strangers meet. But is the connection real, or are we actually in an illusion? This question contributes to the fact that the restaurant looks quite chaotic. It is inspired by Richard Hamilton's pop art. The 2D elements mix up with the 3D virtual environment, and the irony is that we are mixing up the reality and the digital into our daily social lives. In this restaurant, the food on the table is being replaced by computers. I found out that many viewers are looking for the vicarious pleasure on the screen, and according to the comments, many prefer watching their virtual partner eat instead. We could even argue that not only there is a glorification of the food, such as presented in the film La Grande Bouffe by Marco Ferrari, it is rather a craving for the virtual pleasure senses that the digital gives us. With synesthesia, we interpret our physical body as the mukbang creator who is eating the food we want. We are also required to pay with a comment, since this is a form of gratification. It is a currency of digital connection. The balloons are a reference to Africa TV, the South Korean platform where mukbang is originated. The donations that viewers give are called balloons, and the mukbang creator can make a full-time career, which enhances the service relationship. Overall, Let's Eat depicts the irony of interacting with screens in virtual reality. I want to thank everyone who has contributed in helping my digital creation master's thesis and project. Thank you to the University of Savoie Mont Blanc, the Department of Hypermedia Communication, all my teachers, and especially my supervisor, Mr. Jacques Ibanez-Bueno, who guided me throughout the whole semester and gave me helpful support. My teachers who advised me in their helpful courses, Mr. Marc Veyrat, Mrs. Carole, Mrs. Ghislaine Chabert, and Mr. Didier Grappe. I want to give special acknowledgement to Mr. Etienne Bouteillé, who gave me advice and feedback for the VR project and helped me take video captures in VR. Thank you to Yiriam Corrales for allowing me to do the interview, which has helped my analysis. And thank you to you who is watching.